Jules, they had gone 3 games without a win.
Yeah.
Barcelona, Xavi said they needed a win. They got the win, 3-2 against Almeria. But then we saw the grumpiest possible Xavi. I love Xavi. I love him as a player.
We all do.
I really like and respect him. He came out with really, really tough quotes, especially with the first half. He said, and I'm kind of quoting from the Spanish here, but bear with me. But he says, I don't accept the first half. We are not 2010 Barcelona. Either we run like animals or we won't get there. Either we give our lives or we win nothing. We need soul.
Yeah.
That's a really, really damning assessment.
Yeah, it is. And they played Almeria, who is the worst team in La Liga by far, one of the worst teams in Europe overall. And again, with no margin, they created chances and they could have scored more. Gundogan missed a chance. I don't even know how he doesn't make contact on the ball on the line to put it in. But so it's not so much about the chances they created, because we said before that they lack efficiency, like Lewandowski does, for example. It's more that, again, they conceded 2 goals, 2 really bad goals. They look really shaky defensively, which is strange considering they were by far the best defensive team in Europe last season. But when you look the quotes, Gab, and especially the one about I don't accept the first half, who came off at halftime?
Christensen and Jean-Felix.
So Christensen is having bad games for quite a while. Defensively, we said it was not working. It was 1-1 at halftime. The Joao Felix one, for me, this is a message to Joao Felix. I took you off and I put Ferran Torres on. So not Messi, not Cristiano, not Mbappe, Ferran Torres on for you, because clearly the lack of commitment and effort from Joao Felix, which was obvious for us to see on television anyway already, I think Xavi didn't accept it.
Yeah, and in Ferran Torres as well, you're bringing in somebody who, obviously he has his critics, he's far from a perfect footballer, but he is somebody, also because he was schooled under Pep at Manchester City, who will attack the space, who will run, who's going to work, who's going to work his backside off.
Yeah.
We've seen him at City, we've seen very talented players dropped because they didn't run enough off the ball. Look, Sergio Aguero, to name but one. So I think that probably was a direct message. On the flip side, what struck me was you mentioned the defensive mistakes. They're kind of, to me, they were kind of individual errors. I mean, I wasn't great collectively, but they were individual errors committed by the guy who's actually been reliable for most of the last 2 years.
What's happening to him?
Ronald Araujo.
Help me.
On the first one, on the offside, where, by the way, I love how the referee, after he scores, he puts the flag up for offside. He's like, the linesman, I've covered all my bases. Yeah, it was close, but it was obvious that he was
Even
on.
Batistao says, if it is, it won't be much. And it was just on.
So I think he gets the line wrong there. On the second one, where Iñaki Peña, and my commentator's like, it's a howler from Iñaki Peña. I'm like, I have to assume that Iñaki Peña calls for the ball.
Of course,
right?
Surely.
Any goalkeeper in that situation is going to call for the ball. And so if you're Araujo, you have to get out of the way, unless he doesn't hear him. Unless maybe the mask he's wearing somehow blocks his ears as well. I don't get that.
Araujo is making Peña drop the ball, not the other way around. And maybe Peña should have jumped with his knee high first.
Great, so he can give Araujo a concussion.
I know, but at least he doesn't concede, but still, it's just,
What I thought was also remarkable is the crowd.
What crowd?
The people at the Montjuic.
It's half empty.
And again, we need to explain this for context for people who maybe haven't been to Barcelona or are unfamiliar with the situation. And Barcelona fans, traditionally, it's an enormous fan base. When the Camp Nou is full, it's the biggest stadium in Europe, or second biggest, right, in terms of average attendance.
Yeah.
But it's not always full.
Yeah.
And it's even less full in Montjuic, where they're playing while they're renovating the Camp Nou. And people don't like the stadium because it's not a football-specific stadium, and because it's in another part of town. But still, I struggle with the idea that I don't want to go to watch my team. You can say, it's only Almeria and it's on television. Yeah, it's fine.
No,
but you're not going to watch Almeria. You're
No,
going
also,
to watch your team.
Yeah, and also, it's Wednesday night at 7 p.m. local time, so it's a bit early for Spain, but still. But I don't think it was empty against Girona in the big Catalan derby.
It's not far for Girona fans to travel.
No, and some of them did travel, but from the home end, certainly not full. So it's not the first time, and maybe that also plays a part of the lack of intensity from that first half. By the way,
it could be the fans who were there were pretty intense in their booing of the team, to the point that after Rafinha scores his goal, he does a thing where he puts his fingers in his ears. You know my thoughts on players reacting to the crowd. Here he's reacting to criticism from his own fans. I don't quite know how I feel about that.